What if the woman every man desired was actually living in fear every single night? And what if the only man who refused to touch her became the one who changed her entire life? Esther was one of the most popular strippers in the city. Wealthy clients spent huge amounts of money just to be around her. Night after night, she made her pimp incredibly rich. But behind all that attention and money, Esther hated what she did. She wasn't there by choice. Years earlier, when she was still underage, a man named Njenga took her away from her father. Her father had debts he couldn't pay, and instead of finding another solution, Njenga forced Esther into prostitution as payment. He handed her over to Madame D, a ruthless woman who didn't care about her age or her situation. Without hesitation, she put Esther to work immediately. Because Esther was beautiful, clients quickly became obsessed with her, making her one of the most in-demand girls. At the same time, Sean and Jason, two Forex traders, had just made a massive profit, $70,000 in a single trade. Excited and full of energy, they decided to celebrate at a club. That decision would change everything. The moment Sean walked in and saw Esther, known in the club as Extra, he couldn't take his eyes off her. It wasn't just attraction, it was something deeper that he didn't understand. Later that night, at a party, Sean couldn't stop thinking about her. Another woman approached him, danced for him, and even took him into a private room, trying to seduce him, but Sean refused, completely. The woman was confused and even accused him of being gay because she couldn't understand why a man would turn her down. The next day, Jason teased him endlessly. He questioned his choices, even joking about the way he dressed, asking if he was trying to send a message. Then he asked the real question, why didn't you touch her? That's when Sean admitted something surprising. He was still a virgin. Not because he couldn't, but because he didn't want his first time to be meaningless. He wanted it to be with someone he truly loved. Sean returned to the club, determined to talk to Esther, but she ignored him. Completely. Jason started getting impatient. They had waited for hours with no sign of her. When she finally showed up, Sean gathered the courage to approach her. He told her he had been watching her for months and that he liked her. Then he made an unusual offer. He would pay triple her usual rate just to hold her hand. And then he raised it even higher, $1.5 million just to spend the night with her. Instead of being impressed, Esther became suspicious. She accused him of wanting to use her for rituals and immediately walked away. Jason couldn't believe what just happened. He asked Sean why he was willing to spend that kind of money on a prostitute. But Sean snapped at him, telling him never to call her that again. He believed she had reasons for what she was doing, that maybe she was going through something no one understood. Sean kept going back to the club. Every time he saw her dance for other men, he felt jealous. Eventually, Jason decided to step in and hired Esther on Sean's behalf, paying the full $1.5 million. But even with all that money, Esther didn't receive anything. Her pimp kept every cent, claiming she still needed to clear her father's debt. When Esther arrived at Sean's house, she was tense and suspicious. She even poured oil on her head, preparing herself just in case they tried anything strange. But Sean surprised her. He told her he didn't want her body. He just wanted to spend time with her. In the bedroom, Esther tried to kiss him, but he kept pulling away. Confused, she asked what was wrong. Sean explained that he simply wanted to know her better. He asked her how it felt to be with strangers for money and whether it bothered her. Esther opened up, admitting that she was always scared whenever she went to a client's house, but she had no choice. That night, they stayed together, but nothing physical happened. Sean even tried to cuddle her, but she wasn't used to that kind of affection. The next morning, he offered to make breakfast, but she refused and left. Sean didn't give up. He kept visiting the club every day just to see her. Eventually, Esther invited him into a private room herself. She tried to touch him again, but he refused once more, explaining that he wanted his first time to be with someone he loved. After he left, Esther told her friend that she liked him. She found him different, too innocent, too kind, and she was drawn to that. Soon after, Esther went to visit her father, who was very sick. He blamed himself for everything, their poverty, their mother leaving, even the death of one of her brothers because he couldn't afford hospital bills. He confessed that his debts were the reason Esther had been taken and forced into prostitution. He even told her that no man would ever marry her if they knew her past. Moments later, Esther stepped out to take a call. When she returned, her father was gone. Heartbroken, she tried to take time to mourn, but Madame D didn't care. Esther begged for just one day to grieve, explaining that she worked endlessly, sometimes sleeping with up to 15 men in a single day. But Madame D refused. Just as things seemed unbearable, Sean appeared. He had been trying to reach her and came looking for her. After overhearing everything, he stepped in and paid for an entire week so she could mourn in peace. During that time, Sean took care of her, comforting her and supporting her emotionally. He even took her to visit her brother Timothy. But instead of support, Timothy lashed out. He insulted their entire family, calling their father a failure, their mother impatient, and Esther someone who sold her body. He chased them away. On their way back, Sean reassured her. He promised to stand by her no matter what and told her not to let her brother's words define her. When they got home, he surprised her with gifts, clothes, shoes, and things she had never been able to enjoy before. Meanwhile, Njenga was furious. He was losing money and realized that Sean was in love with Esther, which could ruin his entire operation. He called Esther and threatened her, saying that if she didn't return to work, he would kill her brother. Terrified, Esther packed her things and tried to leave Sean. She pushed him away, calling herself a whore and insisting that he would eventually see her the way the world did. She told him that if her own family could abandon her, then he would too. But Sean refused to give up. He kept searching for her. One day, he found her, but Njenga showed up as well and ordered them off his property. Jason, who had a short temper, attacked him, forcing Njenga to run away. Sean took Esther back to his house, where they realized the situation was more dangerous than they thought. Jason revealed that Njenga was a powerful and connected man. The only way to take him down was to expose him publicly. Sean agreed and paid bloggers to reveal everything: his crimes, his brothel, and how he forced young girls into prostitution. Once exposed, Njenga lost his allies. With no protection left, the police finally acted, raiding the brothel and arresting everyone involved. Esther was finally free. With time, her relationship with Sean grew stronger. He went to her brother again, asking for his blessing to marry her and encouraging him to reconcile with her. Eventually, Esther returned to the place where she had suffered for so long, not as a victim, but as someone who had survived. She thanked Sean for saving her life and told him she loved him. Then her phone rang. It was her brother. He apologized for everything he had said and gave his blessing for her to marry Sean, finally accepting her again.